Pass Around the Smile is like your go-to friend, the one that lifts you up and backs you till the end. She's there to guide and inspire, challenge and teach, and remind you that your best self isn't out of reach. Self-development, manifestation, self-love and more, it's time to trust the process more than ever before. Welcome to Pass Around the Smile, the podcast. I'm your host, Cleo Massey, and I am so glad you're here. Let the magic begin. Hello and welcome back to the Pass Around the Smile podcast. I have an exciting and uplifting episode for you today, but before we get into it, I want to quickly introduce today's sponsor to you, Aligned Gemini Co. It is such a gorgeous small business which creates the most special intentional jewelry. And Catherine is the heart and soul behind Aligned Gemini Co. and she aims to inspire confidence, connection and authenticity in the lives of the women who wear her jewelry. Through her jewels, she empowers the modern day woman. She creates designs that blend simplicity with intention, making every day a meaningful journey of self-expression and empowerment. Catherine has just introduced a bracelet to her empowerment collection, which I know my community will love. You get to choose from a selection of statement words to wear as a reminder of your strength and individuality. How sweet is that? And what a beautiful gift as we come into the festive season too. So definitely check out Catherine's page. There's lots of magical goodies on there. She has personalized jewels as well as an anxiety relief jewelry section, which I just think is so special. Her information is in the show notes. And without further ado, let's get into this episode. So what I've done for this episode is I have used my You Are Magic flipbook and I randomly, before recording this episode, I flipped to 3 different pages and just trusted that they were the lessons that we kind of needed to talk about today. So the 3 topics that have come up were persistence, receiving, and knowing your worth. And I'm really excited to get into them. So let's get into them straight away. So let's start with persistence. The little message on the flipbook says, your persistence is paying off. You may feel as though your hard work is going unnoticed, but it's not. Trust the process and expect to receive very soon. This is a really cool one because I think it's something that a lot of people will relate to, where you are working really hard toward something and you feel like you're kind of slogging away and doing all the right things, yet nothing is seeming to eventuate in the way that you want it to. Or you're seeing it happen to other people quicker or easier, and you may feel, hard on yourself, like, well, why isn't it happening for me? I'm working so hard, but my hard work is not paying off. The thing is, very often people quit right before the miracle occurs. Why? Because things often get harder before they get easier. Why again? I believe, in my opinion, that the universe is kind of sending us little challenges just to make sure that we are ready for this big shift that we have been working toward. And maybe some other things just need to come into alignment to make everything flow. You could be the tiniest step away, the tiniest little puzzle piece from your dreams coming all together and, just happening effortlessly in front of you. And you get to perceive it that way. You get to perceive that your dreams are close and that the universe has your back, or you get to perceive that, you're all on your own and that this is going to be a really hard slog. And often we can believe that it's a hard slog because maybe that is our truth. Maybe it has been really hard. Maybe you have been working towards something, trying to manifest something for 2-3 years and it just hasn't seemed to happen. And you just constantly feel like you're trying, but you're not being rewarded. Well, if you are listening to this is a sign in itself. This is the universe, your angels, your guides, somehow speaking through me to you to let you know that your hard work and your persistence is not going unnoticed, even though you feel it may be. So, when we're working towards something and we are showing persistence, whether that persistence is we're doing something every day or every week or every month, persistence for everyone is different. Remember, you don't want to get stuck in comparison here. Whatever you are doing to work toward your dreams, if it is feeling aligned and good, you are doing enough. Now, some days it might not feel aligned and it might not feel good. And some days it might just feel like hard work. That's when you really do need to check into yourself and think, am I chasing this dream for the right reasons? Am I chasing this dream because it is what I genuinely want? Or am I chasing this dream to prove something to someone? Am I chasing this dream because society says that I should? Am I chasing this dream just for money or for fame or for whatever it is? So really check in with yourself there. But remember that when we're chasing things that we want, they can definitely feel like hard work. I personally really like working hard, but I like working passionately hard for something. There's a difference between that good type of pressure and that bad type of pressure, and I've talked about this before. So you want to feel that good type of pressure, where you are taking aligned action that feels good. Yes, it may be hard work, but you know that you're going to be so proud of yourself when you achieve that thing. You get like the giddy, excited feeling inside, not the feelings of dread and guilt. I like to think that energy builds and builds and builds, like it gets greater. So imagine, you're having a really great day and something good happens and then something else good happens and then all of the good things begin to spiral. Your energy is just growing greater and greater and greater, right? You are rising up the vibrational scale. So when you are showing persistence toward achieving your goals, I believe that your energy is becoming bigger and greater as you go along, even if sometimes it doesn't feel like it. So some reasons why sometimes it may not feel like it is that you may be faced with a block. You may be faced with an obstacle. You may be faced with something that makes you feel like you're failing. However, I really do believe that this is the universe sending you a little sign to get you back on path or to send you the answer that is the last puzzle piece, or to send you a little challenge to make sure that you are ready for the greatness that is to come. Because the universe will only send you things that you can handle. So the universe might need to just make sure that this is, going to be okay for you. You get to choose how you perceive the obstacles, the failures, the blocks. As showstoppers, as woe is me, as oh my gosh, this always happens to me, as I'm going to quit. Or you get to choose to perceive it as exciting because I wonder what the universe is cooking up for me now. Or, oh, that makes so much sense. Actually, that was the one bit that felt really funny in my tummy. And if I take that element away and if I focus on this element where this kind of obstacle has led me to, that feels right. We get to choose how we see these obstacles. It can be a really disheartening feeling when you have been working towards something for a long time, showing persistence, showing up for yourself, for your dreams, and nothing seems to be happening or nothing seems to be working. I like to think that when things go a little bit quiet and a little bit stagnant, instead of, oh, they are not meant for me and I am failing, I like to think, oh, maybe the universe and my guides and my angels are kind of taking over the hard work now. Maybe they're kind of having their say and working some things out while I go on and live my life. And what I like to do in those moments is distract myself with things that I know are going to make me feel good, because then I know I'm working in with the law of attraction. I'm raising my vibration. I know that if my vibration is high, I will attract the people, the circumstances, the opportunities, the things that I want to attract. And what happens then is you leave room for the universe to choose who those people are, what those opportunities are, what those things are to bring to you in order to bring you the feeling that you are desiring. So the abundance, the wealth, the health, the success, whatever it is that you are manifesting. So it allows the universe to have its say. So we want to step out of the way. We don't have to control every aspect of our lives. Even though it's our lives, we think that we are the best person to control it. We are. Absolutely not. Even though we feel like we are. Having that faith and trust that the universe or whoever you believe in has a clearer idea, has a better path forward. Step out of the way and trust that your hard work never goes unnoticed, even though it may feel like it sometimes. Of course, sometimes we are working toward things that aren't meant to be for us. I mentioned in many episodes before that for a very long time I was forcing something, a dream, which is my acting dream, to happen in a way that was never right for me. I have now tweaked and learnt through obstacles and through blocks exactly how I am meant to move forward in acting, and it's very different to what I was desiring before. I'm still doing acting, I still love acting, I will never stop, but it is in a completely different capacity. And I would not have learnt this if I didn't listen in to the signs, the synchronicities, and the blocks and the fails that were kind of coming my way. Yeah, sure, they seemed heavy and negative and yucky at the time, but now looking back, they changed my life for the better. Because if none of that happened, I wouldn't have created Pass Around the Smile. And Pass Around the Smile is the thing that lifts me up like nothing else. It is my life purpose. So just trusting that sometimes we think we know, but very often we don't know. A thought that kind of brings me reassurance and comfort is the thought that my past work and my past efforts are continuously overflowing into my life now in the present and my life in the future. So when we are having bad days, when we're having unproductive days, or when we're sick, I like to trust, and this has been shown to me, especially when I was really sick while I was pregnant, when I let go and I trusted that my past hard work, my persistence would pay off for me while I didn't have the energy to do anything. It absolutely did in more ways than I could have ever imagined. As in, I was seriously laying on the couch all day and making more money and creating more wholesale accounts and gaining more beautiful members in my community than ever before. Yet I was just sitting on the couch. So what it was my mindset that my previous persistence would overflow and pay off into my present life and my future life. So really trusting that when you are having the days that feel slow, sluggish, when you feel like your hard work is going unnoticed, just trusting that it will be noticed when it's meant to, and it will pay off when it needs to. It's really comforting to know that, because we can't be moving forward at 100% all the time. So when we are moving forward at 50%, or when we do need to just stop and be at 0% for a while, just trusting that our previous persistence will pay off. And that means when you do have the energy to move forward at 100% and you are persisting with your dreams and your goals and your good habits and everything else, knowing that not only are you helping yourself now, but you are putting things in place for your future self, for when you don't have the energy. So let's start to get curious when we are putting in the persistent work and it is working. Wow, look at what I'm doing and look at how this is unfolding. Journal it. Put a date on it. Document what is happening when you are being persistent in your dreams and it's feeling aligned and feeling good. Then, on the other hand, when you are showing persistence and it feels like the world is against you, again, get curious. Why? Why is everything feeling like it's slowing down, stopping? Is the universe sending you signs? Is this the time where everything is about to actually get really fast? So the universe is giving you, a couple of weeks to just to be with the kids, or to have some afternoon naps, because soon it's going to get really busy because your dreams are about to unfold. So get curious is what I'm saying, which I think has become quite a popular term I've been seeing a lot on TikTok. Get curious about things, but I quite like it because it's true. When we get curious, we find answers that we wouldn't if we just kind of left that thing be. So that is our first little flip book lesson for the day from the You Are Magic flip book. Let's move on to the second one, which is receiving what it is that we want. And in the flip book, it says, don't be surprised how quickly the universe moves once you have decided. What an exciting statement, right? But it is so true. I have experienced personally the universe moving very, very quickly once I have been really, really clear on what it is that I desire. Previous to that, I was very wish-washy. I was very confused about what would actually make me happy. And during that confusion was me turning to kind of external sources for validation or for approval. And we know that when we're asking the universe for something for those reasons, it's not matching up with the right energy, the right frequencies that you are trying to manifest. So let's say, for example, that you are trying to manifest money, right? You're trying to manifest, let's say, $50,000. You're trying to manifest $50,000, and the reason being is because you see all of your friends making more money than you, and you feel quite jealous and you feel quite behind. While you might still be happy for them, inside of you, it's creating this feeling of competition and this needy desire of money. So you are trying to manifest $50,000, which is a really positive thing in this world. Everything is made up of energy, so that $50,000 is going to be sitting on a really high vibration, a really good frequency. No matter how much visualization, how much acting as if, how much journaling and meditating you do on bringing this $50,000 into your life, it will not work if your subconscious mind and if your gut feelings, if your soul, if your heart is saying, I want this because I'm jealous of what they have. I want this because I feel as though I'm falling behind. I want this because society says that you should have around this much in your bank account by this certain age. Those energies do not match up. So let's use this example because it can be a common scenario where you have people around you that have something that you want. And it's okay to manifest that thing because you desire it. But you need to kind of work on your why, which will change your energy and your vibration, making it easier to attract. So let's say your friends have, all this money and they're moving forward effortlessly in life, or so it seems. That's your perception. And that's what you want. You want an amount of money. You want $50,000 so you can be comfortable and you can get X, Y, and Z. First of all, we need to be realistic. You want to honor that you are feeling jealous. Not to them, you don't have to say it out loud, or depending on the situation, you might want to, but you might want to instead grab your journal out your feelings of jealousy, of wanting what these friends have, of feeling like you're falling behind, of feeling like you never have enough, of feeling like you can't hold on to money. Whatever the thoughts are, journal them out, actually acknowledge them, and then give yourself a pat on the back for having these huge realizations that a lot of people in this world will never be able to have about themselves. A lot of people don't have the ability to sit in stillness and go, why am I feeling jealous? So many people will just feel jealous and they'll just run with it, thinking it's a part of their day. And then that day turns into a week, a month, and then that feeling becomes a part of their personality and sits in their subconscious, where they create so many limiting beliefs around jealousy. But you don't have to do that. You are not attached to this jealousy, and jealousy is a normal human reaction, thing, mood. I don't know. I get to blame baby brain, guys, when I have these mind blanks, but you know what I'm saying. Once you've acknowledged it, you want to tune into yourself and actually think, do I actually desire this money? Let's say in this example that yes, you do actually desire this money for many reasons, which it can be obvious why people desire money. So let's say you really do want it, because the other option is boring. Let's say that you actually realize that you don't want it. I mean, a lot of people would want $50,000 if they had the option, but if you realize that you really actually don't want it and you do just want it because other people around you have it, then, you just got to work out what you do want. But let's say for this example that no, you actually do really want the money. So how do you go about manifesting it in a really good way? Well, you need to start by letting go of these thoughts of jealousy and the idea that you are doing it to get what someone else has or to do what society expects of you, all of that jazz. What would this money bring you? Would it bring you freedom? Would it help you put your kids through a good school? Would it help you go on the holiday where you just have this deep gut feeling that you're going to meet the love of your life? Would it help you pay for your own uni? Would it help you get the home that you have always visualized that you know would bring you and your partner so much happiness? Would this money help you get the dog that you know will calm your anxiety and be your best friend? There are so many good and fair reasons as to why you might want this $50,000. So start reframing your mindset as to why you want and deserve this $50,000, but make sure that the reasons are all for the highest good for all. So not just for the highest good for you, but receiving this money is also going to help those around you. And I'm not saying you have to act like a charity here, but you need to have a kind of a feeling of oneness, because that works into the law of the divine oneness, where we are reminding ourselves that we are all one. We're not separate. We don't have to compete. Just because I have something doesn't mean that you can't. Just because that person has something doesn't mean that you can't. So that feeling of oneness, what will this money bring you? So if you are manifesting it for a holiday, it'll bring your family so much happiness. If you are manifesting for a dog, yeah, that dog is going to be yours, but imagine how excited your friends will be. So just having these little thoughts around the why and making sure the why feels good. Then checking in with your vibrations. Is your vibration kind of lifting now? I'm sure it is. So then focusing on these thoughts of your why, creating some mantras around why you want this money, and then you can step into receiving this desire. You are then so sure as to why you want this desire that the universe will cooperate with you. Because if you are asking for $50,000 just because, $50,000 would be nice, or maybe you're thinking, yeah, $50,000 would be nice, but I could have $1 million, or I could have $100,000 will be fine. Well, actually $7,000 will pay for that holiday I want to go on, so maybe I'll go on that. The universe is like, whoa, what do you want? How do I have a chance to work with you here? Yes, I do believe that in the step of receive, you want to surrender and trust that the universe is bringing you, in this example, whatever amount of money is right for you at that time, whatever amount of money that will bring you the feeling that you're manifesting, the wealth, the freedom, whatever it is. Yes, I stand by that. However, I also stand by not confusing the universe. So getting clear on your why, getting clear on the feelings that you want to feel. Because if you are putting out a feeling of wealth and abundance and freedom, but then 2 minutes later, you're reminded of your reality and you're starting to feel lack and jealous and behind, the universe is like, whoa, what am I giving you here? Because now I'm feeding off this vibration of lack and falling behind. Like, the money doesn't match with that frequency. So get really clear. And then the universe has a chance to work with you. And what happens when you decide? The universe flows with you. And what happens when you decide? It's like you kind of unlock this door that just flows. And you might think, okay, well, I have decided. I've been really clear on one thing that I wanted and it's not manifesting. Well, maybe there's some other reasons why. Is there a thought sitting in your subconscious that you're not good enough or you're not deserving? Or are you asking for this thing out of jealousy or out of hate or because you want to impress someone, one up someone, whatever it is? Right before I started my Pass Around the Smile live events, I remember being so confused as to what I wanted. I knew that it was something to do with Pass Around the Smile, which was just my blog at that time. It was literally just a blog where I wrote about all these topics that I now speak about. But it wasn't quite fulfilling me. I knew it was a step, but it wasn't quite there. So I was kind of manifesting all of this jumble that didn't really make sense and didn't feel right to me. I honestly can't really remember what it was at the time, but they were business ideas that kind of stemmed off my blog that just didn't resonate with me. I can't remember what they were, but they didn't feel right and I was kind of pushing and of course it wasn't working because it wasn't what I wanted and I was just putting this really confused energy out there. It wasn't until I asked the universe for a clear sign that I started listening to those signs and making small changes, which then allowed me to see clearly what I actually wanted. Because you might be thinking, yeah, well, that's all well and good, Cleo, but I don't know what I want. And yeah, I was there too. So what I did was I was journaling, I was meditating, and I was asking for these signs. When the idea came to me through a clearer mind, because I was just experiencing a lot more clarity when I just lent on the universe and I was like, okay, universe, what do I need to know? What do I need to know here? What will make me happy? What will fulfill me right now? That's when I got the opportunity to speak at a girls' business event. I went and spoke at the girls' business event. I felt so fulfilled in speaking my blog. I had never thought about speaking my blog before. The universe interrupted and was like, give this a go. How does that feel? It felt amazing. And then after that, I asked for the sign of the whale. I go into this story in another podcast that you can go back and listen to. But I saw the whale, and that sign then told me what it is that I already knew deep in my heart, which was speaking and using Pass Around the Smile to spread love and positivity through my words. And it didn't really matter how I did that, but that's what felt good. I don't know if this is sounding confusing, but basically what I'm saying is I was so confused. I didn't know what would make me happy and what would fulfill me. So I surrendered. I said to the universe, show me the way. When I made room and when I surrendered, stopped thinking that I knew what was right, the universe presented me with this cool opportunity. The cool opportunity was a light bulb moment for me. I was still then confused. So I asked the universe, show me a whale if I'm meant to do a Pass Around the Smile live event. The universe showed me the whale in the clearest way. And then I was able to receive my desire because I was now clear on what I wanted. I wanted to create a Pass Around the Smile live event. I wanted to talk at it. I wanted it to be candlelit. I wanted it to be beautiful. I wanted to make everyone feel inspired. And it was scary, not scary, good scary, how quickly the universe moved once I made my decision. I made my decision that that's what I was going to do. I was going to put my fear aside, and the universe worked with me like I have never experienced before. Everything fell into place. The venue, the food, the cake, the words that I needed to speak, the people who bought tickets, everything, the photographer flowed. And it was like the universe was rewarding me, saying, you finally listened. You finally communicated with me what it is that you wanted. And that want was in alignment with who you are, your beliefs, your values, and where you're meant to go. And I know that can sound overwhelming, especially if you are in a state in your life where you're like, you don't know what you want. But I have been there, and I have been there for so many years, and I know how unfulfilling and how frustrating it can feel, but you are the only person who has the answer, and you can get that answer out. And you might only be a tiny, tiny shift away from everything unfolding for you. It's honestly so exciting. So just remember, you can receive your desire pretty easily. I know, again, you might be rolling your eyes at me, being like, I've tried, but you can. Your desire can be received quite easily if you let go, if you trust the process, and if you get clear on what it is that you want. Now, please, I don't mean to confuse you, but I do know that this can seem conflicting, so I just want to be really clear that I do want you to decide on what it is that you want and get clear. However, then I want you to kind of surrender that using Gabby Bernstein's I accept this or something better mantra. So let's go with my example, just so you don't leave this podcast episode feeling confused. I had decided I wanted to do a Pass Around the Smile live event. That's what I decided. That's what I wanted. It felt right. Then when I began manifesting it, that's when I stepped into the surrendering kind of process of, okay, universe, this is what I want, and I'm being really clear to you. I accept it to be this, what I'm imagining and desiring, but I also accept if you have something better in the works for me. So then I'm allowing the event that I'm imagining, or I'm allowing maybe an event in the UK. Or maybe it wasn't going to be an event. It was going to be me talking at a school. Or, you just open yourself up to more opportunities, different avenues, and allow wiggle room for the universe to work its magic. Okay, so the last quote that I kind of turned to in the You Are Magic flipbook was the know your worth, accept the good, you deserve it, reject the bad, you deserve more. I remember writing this quote and I was so proud of myself. I was like, that is really good. But yes, accept the good, you deserve it. Reject the bad, you deserve more. So let's dissect this a little bit. Accepting the good sounds pretty simple. But how many of you, for example, get given a compliment and then say, oh no, oh my gosh, don't. I know I do, and I'm working on just saying thank you and accepting the good that people are trying to give to me. And this can go in many ways. Let's say that you are given a beautiful present and it's not your birthday and it's not Christmas, but you are gifted this beautiful present from a friend, right? And you might think after this friend gifts it to you that you, oh my God, you're embarrassed. Like, oh God, why did she spend all this money? Or I don't deserve this. Like, I feel a bit humiliated. Now I need to get her something. Okay, I'm going to go get her something. That'll make me feel better. What about if instead you just accepted the good because you deserve it? What you are doing by almost resisting this gift in this example is you are saying to the universe, I'm not deserving of this. When someone compliments you and you say, oh no, don't be silly, I look awful today, or oh, don't be silly, I'm not good enough at that. You are literally saying, no, I'm not, for a start. That is not my truth. That is not my belief. And I'm not worthy of feeling that way. And I don't deserve that I should be told that. And that is the vibration you are then clinging onto. And that is the vibration that you will then give out to your loved ones, the people around you. And that is the vibration that you are working with the law of attraction at that very time. So if someone comes up and compliments your work, say in the workplace, you've just done this amazing presentation, but you skipped over some words and your voice was shaking, and this colleague comes up to you and says, oh my gosh, well done. Like, that was so amazing. I loved this bit and I loved that bit, and the boss is going to be so impressed. Like, you should be so proud. And you go straight to, oh no, I skipped over this bit and I did this and I did that wrong. And, all of this stuff, which is kind of natural to do because we want to do our best, and we often focus on what we don't do rather than what we do when we are trying to do well at something. Well, in that moment, you are affirming to yourself that no, the presentation was not good, and no, you weren't good enough to hold that presentation. It shouldn't have been you, and your boss is not going to be happy with you. They're actually going to hate you and pull you into their office, and all of a sudden your thoughts are spiraling and you're making up all of these stories in your mind. Your vibration is, of course, low. But let's say at that same time, you are trying to manifest a promotion. So when you go home, you are trying to say, I'm good enough for this promotion. I'm the best person for this promotion. You're visualizing your boss telling you that you've got the promotion. Well, it's not going to work because you have literally just repelled all of this good energy from you because you don't believe that you are actually good enough. You, in this circumstance, you are not knowing your worth. You are not accepting the things that you are worthy of. You are not accepting the good because you deserve it, because you don't think you deserve it. So next time someone compliments you, or you get given something, or something amazing happens to you, accept it because you deserve it. This might go for something, let's say something really incredible, like so big and amazing happened to you tomorrow. Like your biggest manifestation just materialized in your life. Let's say it's a beautiful house, or this job that is like, wow, just like the most amazing thing you could have ever imagined, or a lump sum of money, or whatever it is. You manifest this huge thing. But then when it comes, you all of a sudden start thinking of what other people will think, of the judgment and the jealousy that might come your way, and that, oh, that person really should have got it instead of me, or I'm embarrassed to tell people that this thing has happened to me because it's just happened so easily. There's another example where you are not accepting the good because you deserve it. I know in those scenarios it can be hard, and I am 100% guilty of really cool and good things happening to me and me being like, oh my God, I don't want, this person to be upset, or I don't want this person to feel that way, or I don't want to tell that person because they want this as well, or, oh wow, this has happened so quickly. This is supposed to take like years for people to get this far, or whatever it is, and I will like repel it. I'll be like, oh gosh, okay, this is exactly what I want, but it shouldn't happen this fast, or it shouldn't happen this easy. And then I kind of I reject it. But what I should be doing, and what we should all be doing in that scenario, is accepting the good because we deserve it. It can be really sad what happens then, because I definitely have had scenarios where something really cool has happened to me and I've gone kind of quiet, and I've kind of dulled my shine because I'm almost embarrassed, or I don't want to make other people feel unworthy, that I then actually ruin whatever it is that has come to me because I quickly turn my energy into that of, I don't deserve it. Why do we do that as humans? It's natural, but it's something that I think we really need to work on, because not only is that ruining things for ourselves, it's not inspiring those around us either. And then the second part of that quote is reject the bad, you deserve more. So what I mean by this is when negative things happen, we don't always just have to accept them. We don't just have to cop it on the chin. We don't have to just go, oh, well, bad things happen in life. Like, I'll just take this for myself. I'll deal with it. I'll be the one. No. Not always. Of course, sometimes there are things that happen in life that are really negative and we have to take and we have to go through our feelings and all of that. You know that I'm all about acknowledging your feelings. However, a lot of the time we take on bad things that aren't ours to take on in the first place. This can be other people's moods, other people's, anger or resentment that we then carry because we want to help them or comfort them. Or maybe it's someone really close to us that, like it's a twin or it's your mum or something like that, that you do genuinely feel inside of you when they're upset. Or, I know I have that with my mum. Like if she's upset, I'm upset. If I'm upset, she's upset. But we've got to get really clear on when it's our problems or it's our mood, or when it's not our problems and our mood, because we're not going to help the other person by adapting that mood either, are we? And let's say outside of that, just that something happens to you, like someone says something really unfair to you, someone puts you down. You also don't have to just accept that and walk away and be sad about that and then take that, sad feeling and grow on it, and then you're getting angry and then you're having the fake confrontations in your mind, and then your mind, of course, doesn't know the difference between what you are seeing in your mind and what you're seeing in real life. So all of a sudden your vibration is really low. The only person that you have hurt by doing this is yourself. The other person is off. They've forgotten about it. You don't have to do that. If someone says something to you that's unfair, or if someone is putting you down, you get to reject that because you deserve more. And if you have the strength in that moment to calmly and kindly let them know that that was, a little bit unfair, that you didn't like the way that they said that to you, that that has made you feel, unworthy, or that has made you feel really upset, then, oh my gosh, do it. You can still be bold and kind. You can still be assertive, yet I always muck up this quote. I was like, just go in with it, Cleo. You will remember the quote. I don't. But you know what I mean. You can still be assertive with someone, but like gentle. You can still be a good friend, but let your friend know when something is not right. You can still be all of those things at once. What you don't want to be is you don't want to be a person who is pushed around, because people get used to that and that's how they will treat you. You get to reject the bad because you deserve more. So this is all knowing your worth around feeling deserving of love, of peace, of good things, of whatever it is that you are wanting to attract, whatever it is that you are wanting to feel. You must feel worthy of feeling those things. And I know this is another thing that can sound really cliche. Like you see so many quotes that are like, know your worth and you are worthy. But do you deep down feel worthy? Or do you have some limiting beliefs sitting in your subconscious that are contradicting that? Of course, when we know our worth and we are believing that we are worthy and deserving, this works in so effortlessly with manifesting your desires. This kind of links in nicely with what we were talking about before with persistence. So let's say you are persisting with your dreams and your desires, and something presents itself that is negative. It seems like a failure or a block, an obstacle, whatever. Sometimes it's necessary to reject that thing. Like sometimes the universe is just sending you a little challenge to see how you respond to it, to see if you know your worth, and to see if you can step into your strength and be like, well, actually, no, that's not good enough for me. If it is somebody talking down to you, or maybe it's something like in business, if someone says no, or if they don't want, to help you, or whatever it is, maybe it's about not forcing it, but pleading your case a little bit and letting them know how amazing your business is, or how, worthy of X, Y, and Z you are. Because I know for me, I've had manufacturers, for example, be like, no, I don't want to work with that minimum order quantity, for example. And I've been like, actually, I'm going to reject that, because I know that they are going to get a lot out of my business, and I know that I want to work with them. And then I'll come back with okay, I can see that, but what about like this and what about that? And then they'll end up saying yes. And I think in that moment, what I did was I rejected their no. And again, I'm not saying that you need to force things. You definitely don't want to force things. When you're manifesting, you don't want to force anything. But sometimes when things aren't sitting quite right and you think that, just a little bit of persistence here will help, and I feel worthy of working with this person, or I feel worthy of being treated right by this other person, then speak your truth. Then give it a go. Reject the bad, because you deserve more. And also in that case, if it means, well, okay, I don't want to work with someone who doesn't want to work with me, or I don't want to, be involved with someone who talks to me like that, then you can also reject the bad, as in leave that situation or that person, because you deserve more. Every situation's different, so it's all about checking in with yourself and knowing your worth. So I'll finish that episode there. I want to say a big thank you to Aligned Gemini Co. for sponsoring this video. You'll find all of her links in the show notes. You'll also find the link to join the Pass Around the Smile community there. It's a really safe and uplifting space, and you are all welcome. As I usually say, if you liked this episode, it really does help me and supports my podcast. If you could give me a star rating on Spotify or Apple, wherever you listen. I am so appreciative of your support, and I hope you loved this episode. I will see you next week.